have been to one of these before, welcome back. If this is your first one, thanks for joining us this morning. Most of the time, these chats have been in the afternoon, and we had a couple requests to try out some mornings, so folks who are open in the afternoon who can't come. So at the very end of this presentation, I have a QR code that has a link to a survey, and that's where we've been getting some of this feedback, try morning, try an afternoon. So if there's a time or a location that you, come on in, that you would prefer, please let us know. We want to make these as useful and as convenient for you as possible. And so it's not just timing and logistics like that, it's also content. So next month's chat, we are going to be talking about the user experience. And this is a direct request from a business who asked us to bring in how other BRTs around the country, how that's working for businesses or what's happening. And so we're going to put together a little programming to report on that. And also we'll bring in someone who is working in transportation to help kind of give more context to this. So anyway, we're gonna get started here. Oh, okay. So here's our agenda for the day. We're just gonna do, like, this is pretty standard for what we do. We talk about the project updates. Get you a chance to ask questions from the people who are actually doing construction, and then also from the bid. We're going to talk about different support programs for businesses, including the grants. We'll tell you a little bit more about the timeline for the next applications. And then we have some more technical assistance and organizational support. We're going to go over just a couple of those. You might know a lot of these, and we're always interested if you have a favorite program that you use that you might like to share with other businesses. We'd love to take that from you so that we can amplify that message and make sure maybe other people who need that very specific resource can get their hands on it. And then we have a little update for We Back the Facts. Okay, so here's our slide with all of our project's partners. You can see how sweeping this project continues to be. And Danon, would you like to go first?
Business Support Director for Colfax Avenue Business Improvement District. So for those of you that are wondering what that means and who we serve, we are the business improvement district that serves businesses from Grant Street, so the Capitol building, all the way down to Josephine, so think about Carla Madison Rec Center. A business improvement district's goal is to support businesses and get people to come to our businesses. So of course, our role is pretty critical right now during construction. I have another hat that I am wearing this season to support DITO with the City and County of Denver on the small business grants for construction disruption. So while maybe you are not in our district, this applies to you if you are on East Colfax and within the project boundaries. So I wanted to let everybody know that I am offering office hours a couple times a month. If you have questions about the project, if you have questions about the grant, if you have questions about your location, I may not have the answer, but I will definitely be a great person to listen to your concerns and then get you the right answer connected to the right resource or person. So office hours, I meet with people second Thursdays of each month at Doppio Coffee. Doppio Coffee is just at Lafayette Street in Colfax. So again, second Thursdays of each month, 9 a.m. to noon. And then the fourth Wednesday of each month, I meet virtually by phone or in person. And that again is fourth Wednesday of each month. And that's going to be between 2 and 5 p.m. So hopefully if you need some kind of assistance, you can call me. If you need my phone number, come see me before you leave today. I'll be happy to share my number or email address with you. And then just a couple CBID announcements for the moment. Actually, I want to backtrack for a second and talk about the DITO grant. Rachel is going to say something too. The first grant round is closed. The next grant round will open on May 13th. So Rachel can talk more about that and answer more questions about that. But if anybody has friends, family, or employees that want to join us this weekend. We'll be cleaning Colfax from Grant Street to Josephine and our side streets on Saturday, March 29th from noon to 3. We'll be starting at Colfax and Cream for a refreshing drink, and we'll be ending at Pete's Kitchen for a bite to eat and some community. And then save the date. If you are one of our bar owners in the district, we'll probably be reaching out, but our next bar crawl is going to be on June 6th, where we are big wigs on Colfax, so we'll be coming with funny big wigs, joining, enjoying a drink at your bar, hopefully. Not every bar in Colfax, but. And then that's it. If you guys have any questions for me, give me a shout before you leave.
We're going to talk about construction. I'd love to just piggyback a little bit too. So if you are past Josephine, we do, our representative from the Bluebird bid will also be at these events giving updates. So if you're in that area too. And then also the project team is starting its own crawls. Including bar, restaurants, but we're also looking at doing retail crawls. So if people are interested in participating in those, we have a lot of signups here, of course, and Dominic's going to talk a little bit about one of those signups at the end. But please, if you just have a few minutes afterwards and you're interested in us trying to bring a group of people either through social media or through our own projects, please hang out and we'll chat. Okay, so next we're gonna do some construction updates, and I've got Heather Bedini here and John Stewart from the project team.
So I'm Heather Bedini. I work with the communications team for the construction crew with Kramer out in front with the BRT project. So some of you guys have seen me. I come around to the different businesses. If you haven't met me, I've at least met people in your business, hopefully, in the first 2 segments. And I provide those flyers to say, hey, here's the lane alignments, what these are gonna look like, how long they last for, the shifting of lanes. And I will be coming out to segment 3. I don't know if there is anybody here from segment 3, but I will start doing some of those flyers in the next week, because we are going to start lane alignments up to Albion starting on the first full week of April, so that April 4th through 7th. And so we'll start, because we're going to start the station work at Colorado there across from National Jewish about that time. But in those, the handouts that I give, they have the construction. If you're getting tree soil work done in front of your business, I've also come and met with you to talk about that and provide flyers with that. And all the flyers, there's a construction hotline. And I just really want to emphasize this, that hotline is monitored by myself and Marcy. And so if you ever have like questions about what's happening with construction, like, hey, there's a cone out front, or like we got a call the other day, hey, there's spray paint happening in front of my business, what does that mean? Please like call and reach out, and we can kind of give you more information of like, hey, they're going to be doing some saw cutting in that area, but we're still probably a month or 2 away from doing any digging. So one of the things to say about the on-street parking is, while we're in the different phases, the on-street parking on Colfax during construction for safety reasons is not going to be open through the whole corridor. There will be pockets, hopefully, and we're working on different strategies. Like, we've been working on a parking map to add some side street, 15-minute parking, 2-hour parking to allow for more access on the side street. There's also a camp plan on our website. So if you go to the Colfax BRT website, there's a great plan that shows this is what parking will look like at the end of the project, so that you can see where you're getting on street, on Colfax parking back. So it'll show that, but for the duration of the construction, again, for safety reasons in construction zones and areas, we can't have, the parking will be off onto the side streets. And so there are some areas that we really looked at that has limited side street parking or limited like parking lots in their area, that we try to add temporary parking places in place during construction. This map, I know somebody took a picture. It is not 100% accurate. We actually updated it more after we got the signage up, so the new map will be coming out, and I will re-deliver the new maps. We did
have to change some of where our 15-minute and 2-hour parkings were. So I will go back out to the businesses with those new maps so that you guys can have that. Also, we provide them to the bid so that they can be posted on your social media sites. They can be posted on your websites to help customers drive business, things like that. And so, so that is kind of the update. Right now, we're still in phase 1 in segment 1 and 2. So most of the work is being done on the south side of the area, and we are going to be finishing up some of the station work, which is really exciting. So Franklin, York, we've laid some of the pavement down so that you guys can see what that looks like, and we're getting closer to probably by the end of April seeing what a station will look like with the arch and everything. So that is the updates for now.
If you'd like to get, if you don't get regular updates yet, we have this is the QR code show, it always is, and all of this is available on the website. We have the website here, denvergov.org/colfaxbrt. So there's lots of ways to stay involved, and the hotline is on. We have all of this paperwork up here too. Like the hotline is on all of them.
Right.
Can you speak just over the scheduling? Are you guys on time? It seems like I'm down at Milwaukee. It seems like it's already a month behind. It was supposed to start, I guess, March 1. Now they just put up lockers yesterday. So timing wise, is it shifted a month?
No, it hasn't. So the piece is that we start some of the pre-construction. So they did some of Excel work in that area that is still part of the timeline that I provided to you guys with that 6 to 8 month. But they're going to start the Fillmore station soon, so that's why they started blocking that area off for you now. And the station work's going actually very well and on time. And so yes. But that's why you saw that. But it's still part of that 6 to 8 month time frame, and the phasing includes that pre-construction pieces that they've been doing that you haven't had it fully blocked off.
And the two stations that you said are starting to pour, it's Fillmore and what's the other one?
No, actually it's Franklin.
Franklin, sorry.
And so it's York.
Okay,
Yeah.
in York. So highly encouraged to go and see what that looks like, especially if you are on one of these. If you're one of these little circles, like you've probably already seen what that looks like in front of those businesses, as opposed to what it looks like sort of regular down the corridor. And so one of the points here is to make sure that you understand from us, if you are there and you have questions about what that's going to look like, we want to make sure that we fill in all those holes. All right, so what I want to, unless there are other questions, anybody else?
Any other questions for me? Again, please call the hotline when you guys have questions, things like that. Just saying like, hey, what's going on out here? We're happy to answer those. We get back with you within 1 to 2 business days with those answers. You can also text that line. If there's something that needs like immediate, we check that regularly. So we're always looking, and if it's like, hey, I'm having a problem with somebody opening my front door, we're responding to those ASAP. And then other questions stuff we're getting to, mostly 1 business day, but sometimes 2 depending on the level of how it's impacting your business and that.
Great, thanks Heather. Okay, so we have 2 people from the Denver Economic Development Opportunity Office for the City of Denver. And so they're going to talk a little bit about the types of support programs that they're offering. Each Chats on Colfax, we unpack a couple of those. And so today we're going to talk about the BioFund grant, but then also another potential grant opportunity. So, and this is Rachel Lyons. I'll let you take it away.
Hi everyone, my name is Rachel Lyons, and my colleague Lauren Myers-Koff is back here. As Ryan mentioned, we're with Denver Economic Development and Opportunity. So we have a variety of programs and services for small business support. I'm here today to talk to you about our BioFund grant, which is a construction stabilization grant for small businesses that are being impacted by the BRT construction. So we closed our first grant round on March 18th. So if you submitted an application in the first round, we are preparing to send out notification letters in mid-April. So we're about halfway through our review process, and we'll be notifying all applicants of the outcome on or around April 16th. At the same time, we're already preparing for our second round of applications. That will open on May 13th, and a business that's located between Broadway and Colorado Boulevard will be able to apply. If their business is located within one of these industry codes, so our program is focused on our retailers, arts, entertainment, and recreation businesses, our restaurants, bars, coffee shop, food service establishments, and the AB1 other services, that's primarily personal care, so hair salons, barber shops, nail salons. So if you're not sure what your industry code is, that's a great first step to start. We can help you with that. Colfax Avenue Bid, our partners can help you with that. But you do have to be classified in one of those industry codes. To be eligible, you also have to have a gross revenue between $30,000 and $5 million. And your business must be located within 350 feet of the construction, so the center line of Colfax. So that's about a half a block, either north or south. So for this grant, we do have we do have eligibility requirements that must be met. Ryan, can you open our website actually, so I can show, oops, sorry.
No, I just, because, I have to do a switcheroo.
Oh, sorry. I just want to show our website so you can kind of see what it looks like and where you find the application.
And all of this too is linked from the Colfax BRT
Yep.
website?
Yep.
There you go.
Okay, so when you go to our website, this is where you'll find all of the information on the grant, what areas, geographies are eligible for that grant round. If you click on the eligibility tab, that's where again it will list those things we just talked about. So a business must meet all of those eligibility requirements. If you're not sure, please reach out before you spend time on the application. The next application round again will open on May 13th, and this is where you will find the application link. It is an online application. We do list out the documents that you need to upload, so your Secretary of State Certificate of Good Standing and the financial documents, so the directions are all there. If you need help with your application, you can find information on how to request that. So that all lives on our website. That is the central hub for BioFund. In addition to the grant, we also partner with Mile High United Way, and they offer what's called technical assistance, or really educational programming, mentoring, and support for a variety of topics for your business. So if you would like to request assistance with accounting or marketing, bookkeeping, social media, it's free. You complete their brief intake form and they work with you to get you matched with one of their project partners. So that technical assistance is also available for you.
I should bring Jeopardy music along with me when I do these switches. Okay.
Okay. And then I wanted to share information on one other program today. This is not a program through DIDO, but it's a program through the city's Climate Action, Sustainability, and Resiliency Office, or CASR. They have a program that's called Certifiably Green Denver, which is a certification that small businesses can receive if they meet a variety of environmental and conservation standards or best practices for their business. And they are right now accepting grants to help small businesses cover the costs of different programs or activities they're seeking to implement that will help them reach sustainability goals. So this is another small business grant that is available. Again, it's through a different city agency, but they just opened up the applications recently. So if you're thinking about making some changes or upgrades to your business around the materials that you use or your building, and you're interested in learning more, we encourage you to check out the CASTR website as well. And I think they only do this maybe once a year or so, so they're currently accepting applications. If you have questions about this, we can help connect you to their team. And Ryan's gonna switch one more time. Their
There it
website's
is.
gonna be structured
Okay.
pretty similar to ours in terms of where you find information.
I just lost internet, so I was trying to
Oh.
access it differently, but, oh no, it's not switching over. Boom.
There we go. Okay, so again, the website's kind of set up the same way Dito runs our programs. If you want to learn more about this program, we encourage you, go to the website. They have their phone number and email to contact. They have their application, but something to think about if you are interested in that program as well.
And we are also, like, we can just send this to you. There are a lot of different websites, there are a lot of different QR codes. That can be confusing. Our information is here, we can just send it all to you, but we also just keep it all on the Colfax BRT business support page. And we are consistently looking for grants that businesses along Colfax would be eligible for, and that's where we keep those. So the link to this will be there as well as some of the other grant applications.
And this is also a certification. So if you apply and you get the certification, you're recognized as being certifiably green. You can also use that in your marketing and outreach material with your customers or potential customers to show that you're meeting these environmental standards as well.
Right.
Quick question.
Yes?
Previous slide, it's for businesses that earn 30,000 to 5 million.
That's for BioFund, yes.
Oh,
So that's for 2024, your annual gross revenue just has to be somewhere within that range. So it's a pretty big range. So if you're above $5 million, that would just be above how we define a small business for the purposes of this program.
okay. So lost, new, small startup businesses probably exempt, or not exempt, just doesn't apply to them, because we have a couple tenants who all started August on through 2024, and they didn't ramp up that much, so they obviously not eligible at all.
Yeah, we've been working for 3 years on our business on Colfax and Steel. It's finally about to open, right as like all of our parking and accessibility went away.
So you do have to have at least $30,000 in gross revenue for 2024. If you didn't open until October, but you can still demonstrate that, you could potentially still be eligible. If you're not even open yet, I think that will be tough. If you had a business on a different location and then you relocated to Colfax, we can work to maybe accept some projections of what you were anticipating your Colfax Avenue business to earn before the BRT. But if you're a brand new business that doesn't have at least $30,000 in revenue, you're unlikely to meet that eligibility requirement.
And Rachel, since you were speaking to the fact that these applications are ongoing, so like the first one and the second one, so for some businesses that are just opening now, this will be something that's being offered through the duration of the construction. I mean, we expect it to.
Mhm.
And so if, as
So
you're
we
getting,
can't prove that we lost anything.
you'll be,
But
there's a
if you
6-month window,
have
right?
like a pro forma, like when you were signing your lease, if you had like projections that you used to get a loan, or if you had a business plan.
No, Cirrus. Social Club.
Okay.
So if you had like a documentation that had some of those projections, a business plan, a, lease term, if you can document, like we were anticipating this being our revenue, and then BRT happened, we can try to work with you to verify what like some of that pre-construction revenue was anticipated to be at. Because that's the other piece of it that's on our website is for this grant, you're also asked in the application to compare a during construction revenue period with a pre-construction revenue period to show that revenue impact. And that's all explained on the website and through the application. So we'll try to work with you again if you have some kind of documentation that shows that projection.
Again, the goal of a lot of
No, it's
these
okay.
chats is to show that there are, if you're spending a lot of money on other pieces, what we call technical assistance, but like marketing and promos and bookkeeping and taxes and things like that you're paying out, what we're trying to do is connect businesses specifically on Colfax with a lot of free services, so that then if you're feeling impact from construction, you're able to belay some of those costs so that they don't affect you and you can work, on everything else. So we are going to talk about a few of those, but I don't want to steal any thunder here if there are questions for Rachel too. Or Danan, because Danan is helping, providing assistance with the filling out of the applications and processing, yeah.
Do you guys have numbers yet on how it is impacting the businesses that construction is already in front of? Like what percentage would it off?
So when I saw applications come through, just did my calculations, the average seemed to be about 30%. But Dito was running through actual numbers, so I think we have to kind of be on standby to see what some of those actual numbers come in at, because applications are kind of all over the place. So whether or not their financial data qualifies and is accurate is part of the process. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would say we have a limited data set based on those businesses that apply, which obviously is not every business on the corridor. So we're actually in the process now of doing the financial review, so we'll have a better idea of what that actual revenue impact will look like for those businesses. And where the median range is, but we're seeing pretty big ranges depending on industry and all kinds of things.
Okay, so some are less impacted and more impacted.
I agree with that.
Yeah, there's a pretty big range.
Do you have data on how it's changed foot traffic, like any transaction counts or anything like that?
We do, yeah. So we have a partnership with a group called Placer AI, which uses our cell phone. Your cell phone pings and kind of what's being tracked just through our phones. They can track visitation and foot traffic. And so we've pulled some of those reports and shared them with our bid. So Colfax Avenue bid, the Bluebird bid, they have some of that data that shows what some of those trends and changes are around visitation. Yeah.
Is that something maybe we should put up on a couple slides next month? Would people be really interested in that?
We have it for like 3 different blocks through and then going east in the Bluebird bid for 2 different blocks. So we've isolated and we're interested in before, during, and after what some of those changes look like.
Our bid hasn't shared it yet, so is there any general items you can?
Are you with the Bluebird bid?
No.
Which bid are you with?
Mayfair.
Yeah, we haven't worked yet with Mayfair to get that, but we could pull it for them and provide it. Yeah. And then the city's also gonna be looking at sales tax data as well, so before construction, during, and after, to see what those changes are in the aggregate, not for individual businesses, but for businesses along Colfax, what those changes are. So I'll connect with Hillary with the Mayfair bid to get her some of that data as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we'll just start including a section in here too of report out of any statistics that any data that we're gathering, so that, again, the goal is to be very transparent about effect as much as, the resources, so we'll balance that.
Yeah, those are all good questions.
Other questions about any of these programs? Okay, I just have a couple things I want to focus on in terms of organizational support. So we have a fact sheet up here that outlines what the Mile High United Way does, since they're partnered with Dito. Rachel mentioned all kinds of technical assistance. Again, we call it technical assistance because it runs the whole gamut from bookkeeping to marketing support. There are a lot of independent pro bono consultantships, that was hard to say, that are working with businesses on Colfax, that some of them are not charging you for a certain amount of time, and then some of them are entirely pro bono. And so we have all of that information. So if you would like free consultation with somebody to say, just to figure out what your issue is, or I don't really know why my marketing isn't working, I really don't understand how I can connect with my customer base more, what kinds of communication penetrates that audience better. Okay, so all of those sorts of questions we're working with about 5 different organizations right now, all along the corridor. So no matter where you are, we have someone who can support. This one, this fact sheet, which also lives on our website, talks about 4 in particular. And in addition, so last month at Chats, we had people from the Mile High United Way here talking about how to do it and what all those programs were. We also encourage you, if you haven't been able to attend or you can't attend in the future, we record all of these and they are available on our website. Some of them are a little bit more like lecture-y, and by that I mean we have a lot of ideas. Like one Chats we did specifically on social media. We have guides to help support if you're like, well, I don't really know which social media I should start up, what platform works best for us, how to post. It runs from social media 101 to social media 401. So things like that. And then we also talk about staying attractive during construction. But this one more relates to, and all of those are available again on the website. But in addition to Mile High United Way, we're partnering with the East Colfax Community Collective, and they start on Colorado, but they offer a legal clinic that connects people to businesses to pro bono lawyers. They have permit licensing and certification application assistance, as well as they will consult with you for business planning, strategy, and expansion. So looking at those different things. And then also, we work with the Fax Partnership, and they offer a lot of multilingual services as well, but this is where you can go for a lot of in-depth trainings and workshops, but then they also have business consultants work there. And I think a really fun program, okay, wrong word, I always use the word fun because I think everything is interesting, but they partner with the Denver Police Department to do safety trainings. And so that's something I think that's particularly valuable. That you can, I mean, it's a pretty comprehensive training program. So again, one of the points that Rachel made was that every certification or every little piece that you work with can enhance your marketing, and that is something that in times of construction it is very essential to continue to talk to your customers. You don't need me to tell you this, you know all of this. And I have all these QR codes, and I can also send out these PowerPoints if people are interested in just seeing them from there. So these are the other forms of organizational assistance. We are expanding this list constantly, and every chat we'll sort of talk about a couple more until you find someone that's right for you. It is tax season, of course, and if you need help doing tax preparation, Dito and the United Way partner with organizations that will do your taxes for free, and also give you a subscription to QuickBooks for a year. So these programs are pretty good, and they are at no cost to you. So that's just sort of like a quick overview of what some of these materials up here. I encourage you also to take one of our business packets. It has a general fact sheet about the project if you'd like to learn more about it. There are a lot of links and QR codes to several of these business resources that I've been talking about, but also ones that I haven't. And then this also lives on our website because I realize it's hard to click on a piece of paper. And then also just some general tips. We know that construction can create many obstacles, but it can also create a lot of opportunities. And I'm not saying that to like be a Pollyanna. What I'm saying is, I just think that for my team in particular, so we're small business outreach and support, and Heather's team is specifically construction public information, and our team is dedicated to linking you to those resources that you may not know about, whether it's grants or whether it's specific technical assistance. So let us know if you'd like us to come out and chat with you or take you through these. We have lots of toolkits online, and we also have a self-assessment that links you directly to Dito, and then they can, from that self-assessment, they can pinpoint maybe a few programs or things that you might need more than somebody else. Okay, so that's me. We also have this campaign.
We Back the Facts is our like grassroots social media campaign to give folks shopping on Colfax, but also reward them for shopping on Colfax with their $50 in Colfax cash. So basically, if they take a picture or video at your business, eating, or just there, buying something, whatever it is, and tag it hashtag #WeBackTheFacts. They'll be entered to win. We've been getting a lot more traction on this lately. So we've had 5 winners so far, all of whom have been really excited to support small businesses on Colfax. Whether they're from the neighborhood, we've had people from West Colfax come down to support businesses here. So yeah, it's definitely getting traction, and I recommend telling your employees about it, because even just telling someone at the register that there's this campaign going on could get them to post about your business, tag your business, and then that could lead to us tagging it as well on the We Back the Facts page. So there's also, we're substantiating it a bit more by doing some business highlights. So if you check mark the box on the sign-in form that asks to be featured, we'll be in contact with you to get some information about your business. So we're making sure we talk about it in sort of your voice. But yeah, we're gonna get those posts out going forward, just one-off highlights about businesses. So yeah,
How many, this is like once per month you're choosing winners?
it's twice per month.
Twice a month, and what is Colfax Cash?
It's a gift card, Colfax Beer Tea branded gift card. It's just $50 that
It's like
folks
a
can
Visa
spend.
card.
Yeah.
Okay. And how many posts have you guys gotten since you started this, like in total?
Well, we had 5 winners probably out of 20 submissions, I'd say.
20 submissions.
Yeah.
It's just starting. So, and one of the things we're offering is, because they're tagging your business in the social media, all of our project partners, that logo gumbo I call at the very beginning, is they've all agreed to share it across their social media as well. So the idea is to have built-in amplification of your own, of people supporting your business specifically. We're also, we've made these, oh, do you have it?
Yeah, we also have some swag, but just really useful things to put on your cash register, restaurants, bars, to put on your tables. But this explains it. So we've started to get more submissions after utilizing things like this.
Yeah, and those business profiles will be largely social media based as well. But because we are working with people on sort of marketing consultation and things like that too, we've been helping individual businesses support the campaign and getting the message to their customers. Okay, so if you checked yes, what we're gonna do is we're gonna send you a link to a short survey of like 3 or 4 questions, because we want those business profiles to be in your words, not ours. So how you want your business to be talked up. And so we'll work with you to make sure that those look how you want them to look. Okay, so here is the survey link that I said at the very beginning. If we love feedback, what did you like and dislike about this? What would you find more useful? We're also always looking for venues to host these events. We believe that one of the things we do with this is also support local businesses. So thank you very much to Velvet Banjo for letting us commandeer the space. There are lots of burritos in the back. We encourage you to have one, or if you're not hungry, to take one and enjoy it later. And then also, we are gonna be here, the project team, for a little while. If you have individual questions and you'd like to chat through something a little bit more, please, we'd love it. And then I'll just leave this up here until everyone's gone, in case you wanna grab one of those QR codes. So last week of every month, they're either a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, depending on availability of the venue and our speakers, when we have speakers. And then, and so we will send out the information for next month's chats here in the next week. So if we don't have a working email for you, we do now. Thank you for signing in. And then you can also take our information if you have any follow-up questions.